It was a quiet afternoon at my grandfather's ranch when the trouble began. Grandpa, a 78-year-old veteran bound to his wheelchair after a back injury, enjoyed sitting on his porch overlooking the fields he had worked all his life. He wasn't one to cause problems, but that never mattered to the HOA. They had been hounding him for months with petty complaints. His flagpole was too tall. His ramp was unsightly, and even his service dog had been labeled a nuisance. That day, their harassment escalated. Karen, the loudest of the HOA board, called the police claiming Grandpa was violating neighborhood aesthetics by cluttering his porch with medical equipment. 2 patrol cars pulled up, lights flashing, as if a crime was in progress. The officers approached brusquely, asking for his ID and demanding he explain why he refused to comply with HOA standards. Grandpa, exhausted and frustrated, calmly said, "This is my home. I fought for this country. I'm not breaking any law." But the officers kept pressing, clearly acting on the HOA's exaggerated report. What Karen didn't expect was who would be pulling into the driveway next. At that exact moment, my twin brothers, both Navy SEALs just returned from deployment, arrived to surprise Grandpa with a visit. They stepped out of their truck in uniform, instantly commanding presence, broad-shouldered, disciplined, and carrying themselves with the quiet intensity of men who had seen combat. They immediately sized up the situation. One of them stepped forward. "Officers, is there a problem with our grandfather?" His tone was calm, but there was steel behind it. The cops hesitated, suddenly realizing who they were talking to. Grandpa wheeled himself forward and said proudly, "These are my grandson's Navy SEALs." The shift in energy was immediate. The officers, who moments earlier had been pressuring a disabled veteran, quickly backed down, awkwardly muttering about just following up on a call. But my brothers weren't about to let it slide. They demanded the officers explain why they were harassing an elderly man in a wheelchair over HOA nonsense. Karen, standing smugly at the edge of the driveway, suddenly froze. Her confident grin vanished the moment she realized she was dealing with men who had federal connections and the respect of law enforcement nationwide. The officers retreated, embarrassed, and Karen scurried away without a word. My brothers sat with Grandpa on the porch afterward, reminding him that he wasn't alone. The HOA thought they could intimidate a disabled man, but instead, they'd revealed themselves as petty bullies. That day, Karen and her board learned the hard way. Grandpa's family was not to be messed with.